In a certain school somewhere in the cultural anime universe, there was an only man surrounded by a group of females. He was enrolled in this school and it was recently co-ed, and he was the only guy in their class. He was bullied by these three ladies every day, and he can't open up to anyone, because he doesn't have the balls of steel to become a Sigma male. This silver hair lady is going to punish him using her footwork. The main character was begging her to stop, but his rod doesn't seem to hate the bullying given to it, and it was standing like a real man. Meanwhile, the two ladies behind him were taking selfies of him, while he was showing a face in despair. On the other side, the teacher was watching the bullying session. He asked the teacher to help him, but the teacher doesn't care and walk away.
Bruh.
It seems like in this school the main character is left alone to suffer from success. The lady using a footwork was excellent in aiming his weapon, so he was betrayed and shot by his own weapon, and he was now coated with that chlorine scent. Then his bullies photograph him like he was some sort of model. According to the bullies, his photos will be spread on Google if he will not pay them. He was now blackmailed and suffering some emotional damage. During the night, the main character received his package that he ordered from the black market Amazon online shop. It was an unholy whole relic requested by his bullies, so they can film him playing with it. However, the bullies doesn't know that this unholy relic is secretly a rare grade cursed magic item that can be used for witchcraft. The sorcery of each item is limited only to one target. In order to activate this unholy relic, he only needs to use his power of imagination, and use his photographic memory to picture out the target person. He instantly remembered the leader of the bullies in his mind. While he was imagining her, suddenly he gained a Hawkeye ability without knowing, and he can clearly see the silver hair lady for a short moment. After that, the unholy relic transformed into its purpose and it was a magic portal. He inspected the magic portal, and suddenly his bully felt a strange feeling. The magic item was reacting to his touch of sorcery, so he concluded that it was connected to her. He continued his witchcraft, or handicraft rather. Then he discovered some fresh water in the magic portal. The main character realized that this is some sort of dark magic, so he used this opportunity given to him to revenge on his bullies with his white magic. He gave her a first-time graduation ceremony, and he was not showing mercy. It turns out he was only brave when the enemy is not facing him. His rod attack was transferred to her through the help of the magic portal's dimensional characteristics. His bully was so confused why she was receiving some simultaneous damage while no one was around her. Eventually the main character used his white magic, and he was sending it through the magic portal. The white-haired bully received that special delivery to her, and she was puzzled on who was the sender. The next day at the campus, he was observing the leader of the bullies. It seems like nothing have changed to her, and even her attitude was still the same. She approached him, and she was asking if the unholy relic they requested to him have arrived. Instead of answering her question, the main character used this moment to test whether his unholy relic was legit or scam. Upon using his hands of sorcery into the unholy relic, she immediately reacted to it. Then she left immediately after taking some damage in the express canal. By the way, his witchcraft was faster than any kind of modern technology, because there are no lag, and the effect was instantly delivered at the same time. The main character went to a private space to do his revenge secretly, and meanwhile she was now suffering from it in real time. She decided to go to the school clinic, but with the main character's hawk eyes, he knows her plan, so he paralyzed her by using his rod of destruction. Then he exposed the melons in the open for them to get some sunlight. None of her classmate was helping her, and they were just watching her breakdancing in front of them. It seems like every character in this cultural anime minds their own business. Anyway, the main character used his ultimate explosion magic, and for some unknown reason in chemistry, instead of having orange color explosion, it was white as milk. After that, she was defeated by his dimensional rod of destruction. The main character was very proud with his win, and he believes that he is invincible with the help of the unholy relic. 1 month later, and the silver-haired lady was not attending school anymore after humiliating herself in front of everyone. Every day she always receives a surprise attack anytime and anywhere, and also she gets some daily fresh creamy milkshake. At first she hated that unknown experience, but now she was getting used to it, and for her it was like an everyday routine. His white magic was like cocaine, and she was getting addicted and high with it. The time was already 5 p.m., and it was time to receive her daily meat and calcium supply. On the next scenario, the main character was still getting bullied, and it seems like he cannot stand up for himself, but at least his rod was standing up for him. As usual, his bullies are filming the stepping exercise. They are going to continue bullying him while their leader was not yet around. By the way, I'm not sure if this is called bullying if the main character doesn't seems like to be against it. After defeating his rod, the ladies left and they were talking loudly about their plans for the weekend. The information he acquired was very useful and he can use that to his advantage, so he ordered 2 more unholy relics for his revenge plan. The weekend have come, and the blue-haired lady was meeting with her friend. With the help of his Hawkeye ability he can see her at real time. On the other hand, it was the yellow-haired lady and she was with her boyfriend. We already know that this would end up in the NTR route. The stage were both ready and the main character will perform his witchcraft for revenge. Then he used his unstoppable dimensional fingers to deliver some punishment. The targets were confused, since no one was close to them, and they thought their brain was not braining anymore. The Unholy Relic have another feature and it can choke the target. Then her melons were freed and those pair was experiencing liberty. Her friend keeps on asking obvious stupid question instead of covering the melons. Anyways, the main character use his white magic and feed her some nutrients. After that it was the turn of the yellow-haired lady. Her boyfriend noticed that she was feverish, so he went out to buy some refreshments for her. Bro was getting NTR in front of him without realizing. She suddenly reached her limit, and she was creating a water fountain. On the other hand, the main character break his limit, and he activated his unlimited stamina. Then he demonstrated the power of his simultaneous sorcery of thrusting on both of his subject of revenge. He wanted to teach them a lesson for humiliating him in public, and now his bullies were getting some bad karma for bullying his rod. Then finally the main character used his white magic explosion to finalize his spatial attack. The blue-haired lady got some cameraman gathered in front of her, and they were recording her public exhibition. On the other side of the map, the yellow-haired lady was dropping some milkshake out of nowhere. Her boyfriend saw that, and was confused too. At this moment we can now consider the main character as a cultural villain. In the next scenario the silver-haired lady was doing some balloon test and she was positive. She was so worried, because she cannot tell that to her mother. Suddenly she meet the main character. It was not a coincidence, since the main character have the Hawkeye ability, and he can stalk her anywhere she goes. She walked past him, and the main character revealed that he knows her balloonization secret. He confessed that everything that she was suffering right now was his witchcraft at work. It would be hard for her to believe that he knows sorcery, so he demonstrated his power in front of her. The main character knows that she was now a crackhead who was addicted to his imaginary rod, so he decided to let her experience the real deal. He showed her the rod of destruction, and she was mesmerized while looking at its majestic figure. After that they went to her home, and it was time to show some wonderful clapping performance. He was giving her a backyard applause, and she was begging him to continue his simultaneous force. She was now apologizing to him, and she accepted that she was foolish for bullying him. It seems like the power of the rod of destruction can destroy bullying in a short period of time. Finally the main character injected vitamin C to her, and of course the small life form will be covered with that nutrition. That may sound weird but that thing usually occurs in real life, and the tiny life form is actually safe from direct contact, because there was a certain membrane covering the tiny life form. The next day at the classroom, the teacher was very clueless, and she don't know that she was the next target of our cultural villain. She did not help him before when he was bullied, so it was time for revenge. However, this is the end of this cultural anime recap, since episode 2 was not yet released and here is your research material. By the way, I do believe that his rod was his hero, since it always stands up against his bullies.